In the meantime, Israeli tanks and troops raided targets inside Gaza overnight. The military described its preparation for the next stages of fighting. Israel's army radio called it the biggest incursion of the war thus far. It's still unclear when a wider ground invasion will begin, though. Israel is also increasing its airstrikes across Gaza. The country's military said it struck more than 250 Hamas targets over the past day. CBS News reporter Haley Ott is on the ground in Tel Aviv. Haley, what more do we know about the Israeli ground raid in Gaza overnight?
Yes, so the Israeli military said that it carried out what it called a targeted raid in northern Gaza using tanks. It said that that raid lasted a few hours, that there were no Israeli casualties, but they did say that they had eliminated some terrorist targets and destroyed militant infrastructure and also destroyed anti-tank missile launching positions. And officials said that that targeted raid was part of their preparations for the, quote, next stages of the war, which we are expecting to be some sort of larger ground incursion. Now, we have no idea what that actually might look like. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu said last night in an address to the nation that he was preparing for a ground incursion, but he gave absolutely no details about the scale, about when, or really about anything in terms of what that might actually look like.
What is the situation now when it comes to the humanitarian aid in Gaza? You know, it seems like the biggest issue has to do with fuel, that getting, you know, the water in, the food in, which hasn't been a lot to begin with, is one thing, but fuel is essential to keep a lot of these hospitals open.
Absolutely. So the humanitarian situation just continues to worsen by the day, by the hour. The UN has failed to agree on a way to call for some sort of lull in the fighting so that significant enough quantities of aid can get in to even begin to meet the needs of the population there. The Red Crescent said that about 74 trucks have made it in so far through that crossing from Egypt into Gaza. That is a tiny fraction of the aid that would make it over in peacetime, let alone during this huge conflict where airstrikes have just been raining down on the Gaza Strip. And as you say, Israel has cut off electricity and fuel, and Israel is not allowing fuel aid to go into Gaza. They are saying that that's because Hamas is hoarding that fuel and could use it against them in this conflict. But as this continues, the UN agency that operates in Gaza says that it has had to share its supply of fuel with places like hospitals, bakeries that make bread, water desalination plants in order to keep trying to meet some of the basic needs of civilians there. And it has said now that if it doesn't start rationing that fuel, it's going to run out by today. So it's saying that it's going to have to make some very difficult choices about how it shares that fuel with people. And meanwhile, that's as the World Health Organization says that half of the primary healthcare facilities inside Gaza and a third of the hospitals are not functioning at all.
And I think, you know, it's a good reminder that, yes, these hospitals are filling up because people are being injured. Also, people think of them as safe places to go. But everything that normally happens in Gaza, where the hospitals are at the center of, that's still continuing. There are thousands of women due to give birth in the next month. There are hundreds giving birth on a daily basis, and they need the support of these hospitals. And many of them sort of also UN hospitals, and the UN is saying that they're not going to be able to deliver the level of aid that they have been very, very soon. They're going to have to start pulling out. So that's Gaza. What's happening in the West Bank?
Yeah, the West Bank is a very different situation, but it's concerning nonetheless. Obviously, the West Bank is not controlled by Hamas. It's controlled by the Palestinian Authority, but tensions there are escalating as well. There's been an increase in violence since October 7th, since that Hamas attack. The UN estimates that 95 Palestinians in the West Bank have been killed since that attack, and 1,900 have been injured. And there are reports of increasing attacks by Israeli settlers on Palestinians taking place in the West Bank, which President Biden has said is, quote, like pouring gasoline on fire. Israel says around 1,000 people have been arrested since October 7th. And when I was there speaking to people in the West Bank the other day, one analyst told me that the situation is getting so tense. And as people there, many of whom have family in Gaza, watch the airstrikes and the humanitarian crisis unfold, that tension is building, and it really could explode at any moment.
All right. Haley, thank you very much.